Yeah, I just wanted to call in response to the funding for National Public Radio and see which way, I wanted to see which way he was voting.
Well, it's not a standalone issue. It's part of the continuing resolution.
Is he in support of ending the funding?
Is he in support of what?
Is
I barely hear you.
Is he in support of ending the funding for National Public Radio?
As a standalone issue, I would say no, but he hasn't released an official statement on it.
Okay.
I mean, it's part of the entire budget process.
I understand, and there's 170 million Americans that are concerned about this because of one incident that it's sparking one side of the aisle to react in a way that would end the funding. And my question would be this: if he is in support of cutting this, what kind of media sources would he be supporting that we could get our news and information from?
I mean, I don't think I don't think he does support that. So.
Okay, you don't think he supports the ending of funding for National Public Radio?
Correct.
Okay. Is he going to come out and publicly state one way or another?
I would doubt it.
Okay. So when we're supposed to get a hold of our senators to discuss this and they don't have a firm stance on it, does that mean that I'm just confused whether they support it or not, and why we're urged to call our senators if they don't have a definitive plan? And as a Missourian, that's why I'm calling.
Well, the issue is the budget, okay? So this is one very, very minor piece of it that's been politicized a lot, okay? So, if you're talking about how to effectively use all of the senators' times in terms of, like, addressing the budget and going through all the provisions and whatnot, this is something that, I don't, it's just not, it will be part of the budget. I would be surprised if it were cut. I think that it's, something that, is getting a lot of coverage, and, I don't know that, I think it's only even 2% of the funding for PBS and NPR that comes from the government, so it's, it's not like they're just funded by the government, you know what I mean?
Well, but there is funding that does come from the government. So what you're basically saying is it's not a priority in the entirety of the budget.
I think that it is. Well, I don't want to go so far as to say that, but I think that it is a very small. It's a very small piece of it.
Okay.
And I think that sides realize that it's just sort of become this political football, and to have a big debate over it, in Congress just would delay the entire budget process, and even because it's probably going to be in there anyway.
Well, the only reason why, as an individual that votes and is concerned about things that may or may not happen, I hear that on the Republican side it's demonized and it's seen as something that is not essential, and they want to really kind of get rid of it, whereas the Democrats don't, which was my concern of calling your office in the first place. So I find it kind of disconcerting that there's no stance on something that is important to my life and every friend that I can even imagine, and there's thousands on Facebook and all over the place that are concerned about this. So I would be concerned that there's not either an official stance and or a statement, or this is just a byline in a budget that's not important, because as a voter that goes to the polls, I find it very important and very disconcerting that a politician does not have at least something to say about it, whether it's big or small.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can pass that message along. I think that, certain people in the media have created that sort of impression a little bit that, of what you're saying about Republicans are, these ardent public broadcasters
Well, I would say that the magnitude and the magnanimousness of something called Fox News has totally demonized it, and I don't think there's several. I think it's an entire broadcasting arm. And I think that there's others out there at other networks that have been objective enough to say, hey, look, when Juan Williams was fired, these folks on this side of the aisle decided that if they're going to do that to an individual that supports and is paid as a contributor to Fox News and supports that side of the aisle, I think we should maybe muffle what they have to say because it's getting in the way of agendas. And that's my issue. That's the reason why I feel like it's my duty to call, put my name on a petition, and make sure that those that are out there that are going to vote understand that just because someone gets fired, which happens all the time for a dissenting view, it doesn't mean the government should not fund a source they have funded for decades. That's really what I'm getting at, and that's why I'm calling to understand what his stance is and to put my voice out there to see what can be done.
Right. I mean, I also think that a lot of times that, I'm trying to be, honest with you, okay, and I think that, if, sometimes it's not even good for the end goal, even if, let's say, okay, the senator does support, funding public broadcasting. Sometimes it's not just in the interest of getting that done for everyone to be coming out and making a statement on it, and it's just because of the way the process works. Now, that's not, point taken if people are critical of that, but, it would just bog down already complicated process of getting the budget fixed. I think a lot of people, except maybe some more radical members of the Tea Party, understand that it's not worth making such a big fuss over cutting it, because it's just not worth that,
Oh, I understand, and that's why I'm concerned. If it's not worth it, I don't know why there's even rhetoric out there that would be contrary to funding something, as I've said before, that has been around for decades.
I think that it was blown up by that firing, and I think it was blown up a lot by that network.
I understand. So,
I think that at the end of the day, it'll be part of the budget.
So again, it's another bit of rhetoric by a broadcasting station that probably shouldn't be sounding their drum so loud about things they aren't really keyed into.
Well, I won't say that that's the senator's position, but, I think it's a fair point.
Okay. All right, well, very good. If you could just pass along my sentiments that
I
it's very...
I definitely will. We've gotten, a few thousand calls and emails about this, so, there's a lot of people that are, agreeing with you on this, so I think that, I know he'll be very aware of it, okay?
Excellent. And what's your name again?
Michael, what's your zip code?
I am at 64012. I'm in Belton.
Okay, great. I will let him know, and thanks for calling.
Thanks, Michael.